Hi, I'm Dave Worsley, and you're watching PHTV4. And today we are at Abacus Therapy Center on Harlem Avenue in Palos Heights. With me, we've got Mary Coleman, the Director of Operations here. And relatively new business. I think you opened this location in the fall?
In July.
In July?
Yes, July.
Okay. And so we're going to talk about what your business is and you know, how things are going for you. And this is one branch, you have others, and so when you talk about that as well, maybe first, how did you, like, what brought you to Palos Heights? How did you get started here? And then also, you know, what your business is.
Sure. So I actually started in Palos Heights. I've looked at this location for about 8 to 10 years. I love how Palos is so family friendly. When I actually started the location, after I moved in, I found out that my great uncle also leased the same building in 1970s. So I've always loved this community. When I was a young child, I have been around adults with autism since I was a little girl, and that's kind of my passion of opening up this business.
It's interesting, the uncle connection, it almost is a little bit of destiny.
Yes, yes, definitely. It was pretty cool. When I opened, my aunt called me right away, and she's like, oh my gosh, this is the same building in 1970s that he opened his first business. So it was kind of like, you know, that full moment circle that we thought was pretty cool.
Welcome to Palos Heights. I mean, that's really cool. So let's talk about what Abacus Therapy Center does. And the phrase I saw was, and I'm make sure I get it right, the applied behavior analysis.
Yeah.
What does that mean, and how it's applied here?
Okay, so ABA is Applied Behavior Analysis. It's for children, teens, and young adults with autism. So it's science-based, and it's about learning the behaviors of the child and how to help them through just like daily living skills, work skills, things like that. So here, what's really cool is we do have our BCBAs who have their masters in ABA. They are on site. So they are training our RBTs, which are our registered behavior technicians, and they train them on individual programs for a child. So we go to the level the child is, and we make sure that everything is specialized for that child, so they grow in whatever they're lacking, whatever skill that they're needing.
So you're specifically meeting their needs. It's not a like one-size-fits-all experience. You have to meet the person, find out exactly where they're at, and then develop a plan on how to best meet that need?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. So every single child is totally different. It's not usually the same programs. We make sure that we are literally tailoring this to the child and whatever needs that they're really needing to work on.
And can you give us some examples of like those types of plans or services that may be specific to an individual, even though I'm sure there's some commonalities as well?
Yeah, so for example, like our older kids, we try to make sure they know how to make a bed. So we have a bed in our facility. They learn how to do that, how to hang clothes. Some of our younger children, it's more communication. So if they are nonverbal, we have the AAC devices, which is like a tablet, and they're able to communicate. So we work on that. We work on a lot of communication with the younger kids because we want them to be able to be independent. With the older kids, it's a lot of that social interaction because that is the world. The world is social, so we work on groups. We have a lot of group activities that we do to help them be able, when they're out in the real world, able to communicate without having fear or without shutting down or without having any meltdowns. So we work definitely on those different skills.
It sounds like, I mean, you're definitely working on some very, very important life skills, you know, how are they going to function. And then I'm guessing some of the skills, like the things that you're talking about don't necessarily take place. Some are within this day, some are after, like a normal school day. Like, how does that get fit into the program?
Yeah, so we have, it depends. Again, it's tailored per child. So some of our children, if they're struggling in school, they will come here instead of being in school. Some of our children who are doing pretty well, they might do a half a day. So the bus actually will bus the children here as well. The same with like our preschool program. They'll go to school in the morning and they'll come here in the afternoon to kind of work more on those skills. So it's just kind of a mix of things.
Okay. And you know, we were talking earlier and you mentioned, and I want to kind of address it, and I think it's important, like the mission of your business, because obviously you're providing a very important service, very important assistance to, you know, a family and a young person that need help. So what's your mission in guiding that direction?
Sure. So my mission is honestly based on what I've seen is lacking. Since my brother has autism, my nephew has autism, I'm trying to modernize what ABA is and make sure that we're doing things to set them up for a future. I see what's missing is like my brother. There is not many group homes that are tailored to children with autism. So it's like making sure that he has those simple skills like dressing himself to be able to then have a long-term home that will be safe for him. With my nephew, he wants so badly to work. So I've seen that no one works on those skills of like how they do an interview, how you do simple things of wiping down tables, where then these kids who are able to have those jobs are able to go ahead and go out and get those types of work. So, and then also one of our biggest things is we dive fully into the child. So we do the genetic testing for nutrigenomics, which is a great test. It's 60 pages and it will tell us everything, how their body process nutrients, foods, how the diets they need to be on. So that's one of the steps that we try to do to kind of do the full circle of the child, is also diving in more into what is needed. We talk to their pediatricians, we talk to the therapists, we talk to neurologists, we talk to psychiatrists, so we all are kind of on the same page to make sure that child has the best outcome.
So, and that's how the plan is developed, which was really going to be kind of my next question for you. So you probably answered already. We can revisit if needed. Let's say I'm somebody out there who has a family member or a young person in my life who has autism, they're somewhere in that range and they need some assistance. I call your business. What happens next? Like, what does that process look like?
So we have a whole intake coordinating team. So they email an intake form. Any questions, anything, we are here to help the parents. Because some of them, once they get the diagnosis, it's scary. It's like, what do we do next? So we walk them through every single process. So they get an intake form, we get the neuro report that we need, we help with the insurance authorization. Everything is done on our end because we try our best to take everything off of the parents.
Okay. I was going to say, as a parent, that could be overwhelming, right? Because they don't necessarily have the tools to manage that, situation or provide the help that person needs, right? I'm going to have to ask, because we're in this space, can you tell us what room we're in, and then maybe a little bit about why it looks the way it looks and what you have in here?
Yeah, so this is our sensory room. So I wanted our clinic to be a little different than most. I wanted to have a space where the kids can come relax when they're a little overstimulated or need a break from the work that they're doing. So we have like our tower, our trampoline, our swings, our optic fiber lights, and they just come in here just to hang out and just to relax and chill.
Okay, and so that's a good point. This is one space. The other spaces, you have spaces are more classroom-like, I think?
So, yeah, so we have an open classroom because I, again, want to modernize ABA because socialization is so huge. I've noticed that's missed. We don't do a lot of just individual work. We do a lot of group setting. So our RBTs will sit with their clients and we will do classroom time. We have craft time. We eat together, and all of that we've seen such a huge change with our children since they're in a group. Just like normal life, people like to compete. So our kids see the other kids doing things and they want to pick up and do those skills as well. So we've seen such a huge difference with changing this to be more of like that group setting, but they still have their one-on-one therapist to help them along the way.
It sounds inclusive, and obviously the important, very natural socialization process is going on. And yet when they need to separate from that or get space or a different environment, they have that opportunity.
Yes,
right?
definitely so.
Okay. And then the other thing, and you mentioned this earlier, this is not your only location, and I think you have another one planned. Can you speak to your other locations and what's coming up next for you?
Yeah, so we have our Naperville location on Winding River Drive. That one is, it's a great location, just like this one as well. And then we're opening up a second location in Palos Heights, and that's going to be based on teen and young adult, because from 13 to 21, there's not a lot of people who are diving into that age group. So we are going to have like a store, we'll have a laundry room, we'll have a bedroom, we'll have little gaming rooms, so that older community still gets the help that they deserve to have and still not feel like they're in a baby setting. It's going to be very much teen and young adult based.
Right, so like this location is meant for a younger age group, right?
Yes, we do have a few older kids as well, but most of it, this is going to be just for, our 3 to about 10 or 13-year-olds, and then we'll transition them to the next chapter is what we're calling it. So we'll transition into the next chapter.
I'd like you to kind of think about, like, what advice or what might you say to somebody who thinks maybe, yeah, they need to talk to somebody, or they have a young person, whether it's a son or a daughter or another family member, maybe worried or scared or not sure what you might tell them. Because in the meantime, I'm thinking the service you're providing is absolutely critical. I understand it, and the wide range of age group that you might have to work with. What would you tell somebody? What advice might you give somebody?
Sure. So I always tell them, like, it's okay to call, because I think there's a lot of people that are afraid to make that initial conversation because they're afraid of not knowing the answers. Like, we are here to help guide those answers. Even if they think their child may have autism and they're not sure, we do have a neurologist we've partnered with and a psychiatrist who are doing the evaluations, and they're really great as well. So I always encourage, just make the call. We can answer questions, we'll help guide. Even if you're not sure or the child's not diagnosed yet with autism, we also can help with those steps too.
Okay. Well, I thank you very much. Yeah, the process seems, amazing that I would think it can kind of bring some peace or comfort to a person that knows, yes, we can work with this, you can develop a plan, we're going to help you get to a better place, right?
Oh,
Ultimately.
yes, definitely so. And we do try building a community for our parents and children. So we do a lot of events that we host. We do, we're going to the Autism Walk, we're going to host a movie theater at the AMC. We're trying to do a lot of events too, to bring parents to be able to be around other parents, because it is a lonely it's a lonely time for a lot of people, so we try to build that. And even with our kids, we want them to have friends, just like everybody wants friends, so we do host a lot of these events and the community outings for that too.
I could see where that network would be very important for the family and parents
yes.
and that. Mary, thank you very much. All right, welcome to Palos. Good luck. We hope you have a great business here, great growth in your new businesses as well.
Thank you very much.
I'm Dave Worsley. You've been watching PHTV4, where we've been talking with Mary Coleman, Director of Operations for Abacus Therapy Center in Palos Heights. Thank you for watching.